Greetings. This is page 1 of the book in film, and I've only got like 14 minutes to explain this in my phone, in the camera that takes the phone. So each page will be explained step by step. There's about 80 pages, or roughly about. Okay. This is my theory and plans for a spaceship to be built. The idea is to use a helicopter method of a propeller to rotate around the spaceship that is inside the propeller and to cause the shell of the spaceship to rotate the opposite way. This is how it works. And the floor, of course, stands still. Okay, the green here. Okay, there's the picture of the first design. There's a few designs here before the first module is a success, but this is the beginning. Okay, it says the green. Okay, we won't read the colors here. Okay, but it says anyway, the green kind of yellow is a giant bolt that is attached dead center to the spaceship. It must be round. Okay, it must be round. This color is the shell, which is half a saucer ball, round, or football, soccer ball, rugby, or Aussie ball, whatever, depending what will work better. Probably better a soccer ball, okay? Probably. Now note that all these pictures and that are not drawn properly in architectural drawing. As engineering is concerned, a professional will have to do that. And so is the material and everything has to be invented, if not already put in place. The round brown thing is a ball bearing, big ball bearings that is attached with a bolt dead center of each ball bearing, but loose enough to turn. The purple color are two engines that are around the bolt, and also ball bearings between them. And the bolt, which cannot be seen clearly in this picture, this engine must be made in a way to be attached to the shell of the spaceship so as to rotate one way, while like the propellers the opposite way as the floor standing still. Okay, it's called ball bearings being put here, which is not shown in this design right here in the floor. Okay. And everywhere else in the bolt anyway. The spring, the original formula was a spring, but eventually changes. But the spring are two engines that is between the springs where the purple is. Okay, here. Okay, okay. Are supposed to be two engines that are very well built around the bolt, but loose enough to turn around the bolt, and everything else mentioned on will be more things I mentioned in this book to fulfill the success of these plans. This color are two engines that are around the bolt and attached to the propeller like the top of a helicopter, and cause the propellers to rotate around like a helicopter in the opposite direction of the shell. These are the big red, okay, not properly drawn, but the big red ones, the small ones here, they can be right around, okay. The small ones are propeller like the tail of a helicopter. You can put as many small propellers as possible next to each other around the bolt of the shell and floor. So, that is around the shell at the bottom of the floor, okay? So as when a computer system build also big propellers rotate like a helicopter and a shell once a cause one at a time. These are the propellers, okay? Of course, one at a time for quick maneuvering in order to switch left, right, up, down, whatever, this way, that way. They must be balanced so as the whole shuttle, so as to weigh in balance, so as to weigh equal in an what's that word? Mechanical parts and chairs, etc. equals to this part, the chair here. Where is it? I have to find it now. Here it is, a chair where astronauts sit and stuff like that. And chairs to sit on for astronauts. The shell goes opposite direction of the propeller. Okay, here, where are we up to now? Okay, here. Okay, here it says, note, I haven't perfectly drawn this, so it is up to the engineers to professionally do to get it drawn correctly. This is your test, that is, to trust me. Also, if it is a big ship, you can place other small ships inside, but to be balanced, or aircraft, so on. Remember the bolt, which is dead center right here. Okay. Remember the bolt itself must be fixed solidly by everything in it being balanced. You get loose enough not to fall. Everything must be in balance, okay? In more detail, it is to be continued in more detail until the full version explained, understood. This first part has to be understood. Is compulsory. So this has to be understood first before the actual success one is being spoken about or understood. Okay. The idea is to have the shell of the spaceship rotate one way while the propeller helicopter rotate the other way. Which does, what's that word? I can't even see it. Which also be that the floor be standing still. Which, as the future progresses in technology, or if we have it, this will be a success, okay? Note that you can have a computer system in which I didn't draw in here, in this module, okay? But it is important for the whole shuttle to be balanced in everything. Why is that it does not weigh more in, for example, the left than the right side of it, or vice versa. Everything must be balanced to weigh the same. Note, I have not got the measurements correct here yet, and it's up to the engineers to do it. It's up to the professionals to work out its measurements and, for example, material to use, the proper things, like metals, whatever, computers, whatever, of each part and its weight to be put in the right place, so on. But it does work. This will work, and as more technology increases, we can modify it to the full. This was given to me in a dream while I was praying to true God And for me, it is evidence of his existence. For I only have been to year 10, I could not have possibly thought it myself. I believe true Jesus of the New Testament Bible Gospel, that is, heard my prayer to help you, me, and all. Now, you can put as many seats around the shuttle as possible balanced. I must add, without Jesus, I am a no one. True, but with him, I am a success. So is everybody else. In Christ, we can do all things, and he strengthens us. When he strengthens us, we can do all things. But without him, it's like saying we've got no strength at all. This copyright is just a rough copyright. It will be given and handed in to the rightful owners. That is, God has given me this copyright. He's given me this work to hand it into the Australian Christian leadership, Christian Democratic Party, that is, and Greek Christian leadership and space missions that are Christian, for the purpose of the whole world space missions to work together in peace and stuff like this, and together in unity for the success of the space mission. You must clearly understand an important point. The scripture says, when peace and safety is being spoken about, sudden destruction will hit the land. Now, Jesus doesn't say this because for us to go and do that, or that it will happen necessarily, but that to warn us so it doesn't. Yes, preaching on peace is perfect, and we should do so. And because we keep the peace, if we are Christian faithful, it doesn't mean the enemy, the un-Christians, will keep the peace. So we have to convert them to Christianity to become our brothers and sisters, that the peace is kept. And all terror attacks and crimes and evil will stop. This is not only in war, but in all situations like the street, like in the police academy, for violence and corruption has to be stopped. Things like violence and corruption has to be stopped. That is, illegal things have to be stopped. They all have to be converted to Christianity. This is the way we win the war. This is page 1. Greetings. This is page 2. Okay. This copyright, as I've mentioned before, and I mention again so people will know and are witnesses to the truth, that God gave me this work to give it to the Australian Christian Democratic Party, the authorities of Australia and Greece, as in Christian authorities, and to the Christian space missions in Australia and Greece to work together with all space missions that are Christian. Of course, you must understand that the copyright belongs to the person that's running as president at the time in Greece and Australia. For example, if a new president is elected, then obviously it goes to the new president under Christian rule. Okay. So by applying Module 1 to Module 2, you can have computers to operate a whole shuttle. So as you can have a same or separate computers to give you a map of the solar system and built to function in navigation, by also having telescopes built in to give you different distances, directions, whatever, of view, and windows for medium, close distance, human view, see? 2, you can do this manually or automatically, so on, or by headquarters or base or NASA, or by the shuttle. For the main big computer down to Earth, also to work with computer or computers with the shuttle. This is just an example when talking about side, front, back. Okay. For example, you can have as many computers around the shuttle as necessary and telescope for use. You can have the front view of navigation set to look forward, while the back computer is set on to drive the shuttle, or vice versa, like any computer, to do any job what's that word? Required to do so. Any job required to do so. Okay. You can have also, for example, one screen divided into 4 to look into front, back, sides. Exactly what computers do. Okay, view. While driving forward with yet another computer or computers programmed to drive shuttle. For example, one to drive the other to check the view of forward so it's safe from danger. So as for viewing for directions, etc., depending on the safe and legal route in that particular journey, or journeys which would be different or in different routes, or maybe same routes or similar routes. You can also look with computers and telescope down or up, sides, whatever, or in any direction it permits, depending how it's built and its technology. For example, you can have the computer mapping a journey and its route while the telescope sees it in human view, or in far, close, medium view, in far distance that human view cannot see. Now this copyright is just an example. Okay, that is, it's the copyright that God gave me, and I'm protecting it for the people that's to be given. The copyright will be handed over to the people that I have said. It's only for protection here. It will be handed over to them as soon as possible. Okay. You can also view, for example, short, medium, or far view, or telescope, or computer, and naked eye view, as we mentioned before. Like at home or spaceship base, they can see with map of computer attached on base, on home, and on spaceship. Home telescopes, while at the shuttle, they can check it manually, automatically, whatever, with computer and telescope, or automatically, manually check both ways, base or space shuttle, to confirm it. So it can be checked a number of times if required to do so. So as on the bottom or top, you can have the eye of the telescope to rotate left, right, up, down, around, etc., thus giving you a guard against danger and a safe journey, hopefully, as we pray. So as for the sides, etc., while you can have right around the shuttle, there is anything you want. For example, you can have telescopes. You right around here if you want. These are ones that just an example, these positions. You can have it anywhere you want, where it secures, and it's most likely needed, maybe even everywhere. Okay, in number 10, so as in number 5 and 6, whereas we read before here, okay, can get more telescopes where otherwise will be a blind spot, wherever that may be, so as top and bottom. So as you can have these telescopes built around the shuttle as many necessary, so as you can have many drivers in many places, so you can put them all over the place here, wherever required, okay, in the shuttle, so you can quickly move up, down, left, right, so on, in any angle or in any type of navigation, escaping danger or quick navigation. Like one driver, for example, on top here, if this is, well, the top, some on the sides, for example, here, wherever you may put them, okay, well, we up to escaping danger or quick navigation, like one driver actually on top, others on the sides, bottom, right down here, so on, to indicate the route way out to escape danger. First one to press the button, for example, purchasers in the driver, the one that's driving at the moment, seat, then bingo, way out. For example, if the driver up here is driving straight up that way, and there are drivers everywhere on the alert. For example, if danger comes this way, and this driver spots it before everybody else, presses the button, danger is this way, everybody checks it. The first one that presses the way out, for example, this one might press the way out this way, or this one, there's a secure and safe way out, not just any button pressed for any way out, but a secure, safe way out will be the way out. It will then be programmed to the driver wherever that way out is, and bang, straight out. Of course, the journey should be secure and safe even before the journey, and there should be safety precautions taken that there will be no lives risked or the shuttle destroyed. So it'll be safe even before the journey, hopefully. But for security reasons, we've got these drivers everywhere. For quick navigations, this can go chum, 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 chum all over the place, because you've got, for example, in the previous model, you've got propellers everywhere on the bottom here, and the top here, you've got one here. And I'll show you how it works with oxygen here, even though there's none on space. But anyway, which we'll show you in the final picture of the module 1. But anyway, so for example, you may be driving this way, and put the brakes and go back the other way in a matter of split seconds. My designs in these shuttles, I'll show you later how you can travel in the speed of light, for example, as well in hyperspace. Yeah, I believe it can be reached that far. Anyway, thank you very much. We'll go to page 2 shortly, and we may talk about something else just for the sake of the film money now. Here's my picture, an example of the Art of the Cross. In my site is www.artofthecross.com. Here's a picture of Jesus, and I put it in a picture of astronomy, in prayer for cosmos salvation. Now, I believe there is life out there. I've been there, as I've mentioned, but it doesn't matter whether you believe that or not. What matters is that Christ saves everything, and if there's only life here, well, He'll save everything. If there's life out there, He'll save everything that's on our side as well, and He will destroy evil masters, whether it's just here or if the cosmos is not relevant. What's relevant is that we believe in Jesus Christ, and what is to is will be revealed in the future. I've got my evidence. If you believe me today, you will have it too. Like I said, there's no way I could do all this with Year 10 at the time that most of this book was written. Not all of it, most of it. I had no education other than Year 10. Recently, I have got a certificate the last couple of months in 5 different certificates. But this in university. But this is not. This is not before I read this book. That is, I read this book only with Year 10. So, and it was done by prayer. So it's evidence to me in God, that God exists. And since I believe in Jesus, that Jesus is God, born as a human being, then obviously Jesus is God, and He has answered me. Okay, the God of the New Testament Gospel Bible. There was a bit more here I wanted to say, but I forgot now. Anyway, thank you very much. We'll continue shortly. Greetings. When I originally read this a while back, it was all in one color, depending on the page. Eventually, I put more writings in it. So the original book didn't have the full message on there. I'm not sure how much more message has been given in other writings, like black writing there, to add to the writings, rather than the original blue writing in this page. Shows other colors in other pages. But eventually, in this module, there's many modules to fit into one module, okay? And eventually, it works, okay? So as this is page 3, there's a few more pages to go for this one, okay? It is difficult to draw the third module, so I would have to explain it more in writings than in pictures, in other words, which is easier to interpret for now. Continuing from previous page with the following, all these modules do not work until fully developed, as every module to form one module. See, you need to read all this. What's that word? Next, in order to fully understand it, okay? This is not yet complete in this module until the final module is done. All modules in this first type spaceship are combined by the last one of this type successfully and fixed up properly to what I believe will work, hope you do. And this is very much the information here. You can read it clearly. If you pause it for a second to speed things up, okay, you got, for example, the X's are the shuttles, okay, with the X, where it's marked X, for example. That's the top. You can have 4 that way, or in any number system that you want to be balanced. So is the sides, the bottom, front and back, or whatever you may call it. So then, the doors must, next to the small shuttle, they open and they come out for 2 reasons, but come not at the same time for now. Note, in number 2 here, if rockets are used with fire in the tail, the ship cannot be positioned so on the tail faces the rocket. In other words, what I'm trying to say here is rocket ships cannot be used here in these shuttles because there's too much flame at the back and it'll burn the shuttle. This is what I'm trying to say here, okay? 1, to separate from the shuttle and lower on a planet, so on. This is its purpose for it, for them to come out of the major shuttles to land on planets, so on. But the real purpose is that the second reason is that when they come out at the same time with a pole attached to it and a shuttle. The pole must be made to permit the smaller shuttle to turn 180 degrees or whatever degrees it's supposed to be, okay? I'm not sure about my degrees, but anyway, you'll get that right. Also, to the sides and up and back, whatever, but not straight once they're positioned. In other words, if you use rocket ships, so the plane doesn't hit the shuttle, but it's better to use shuttles, okay? Of navigation, it's better to use spaceships rather than rocket ships. But if you use rocket ships, they have to be, the fire must not hit the major ship because you'll burn it, unless you've got some sort of protection or something. But anyway, so it could be position of navigation is set. They have to be made to lock in, but to be loose when required for turning. One position so as not to turn in any direction. The purpose is so as in hope that with the propelled mothership it will pick up speeds enormous, and from the planet to orbit then it stops in space. That is, the major shuttle can stop if it wants to, or move actually, and the same shuttles come out and place themselves in the desired position outside the shuttle. Mothership joined onto the mothership, okay? Then loosens completely and then blast off. Okay, or it's actually attached to the mothership if you want to, and it blasts off. Okay, while the mothership is moving or standing still, as well as the mothership hopefully giving it an enormous push. Okay. Okay. And drive through the journey. Okay. Number 3, the smaller shuttles can be the same design or another, or like plane kinds of, okay? Since they're in the shuttle, they don't have to come out of orbit, they can be planes, as long as they work in the engineering of space, you see, because it's the mothership that takes you from planet Earth to the space, not necessarily the aircraft, unless you want it that way, okay? The shuttles or anything that would work in space, in its experiments. I have a gift here, as people can see, so I will spend years to learn all about this, okay? Aero engineering and aerospace engineering to fix up Model 4 to its more progressed future technology, although I haven't begun that yet, other than with the Lord. Anyway, so for example, as in one of my lessons teaches, I'll teach a little bit on this and we'll go more into it on the other lessons in more detail perhaps. For example, a rocket ship or spaceship flies from planet Earth into orbit. How it's done, professionals know that's not relevant. But what I'm trying to say is, it takes a lot of force to get into orbit because of gravity here on planet Earth. But once a shuttle, like a spaceship, is blasted off and goes into orbit, okay, there is no gravity in orbit, is there? Therefore, if you have another push, another blast off, or shuttles, 4 of them attached to it as it's driving, they come out of the shuttle attached to the major mothership, blasts off again, this will give it an enormous blast. You can do this as many blasts off as you like. You should be able to reach hyperspace pretty quickly. You understand that? Because it's like pushing it when there's no gravity, rather than with gravity. See, on Earth, when a rocket ship or plane is lifted off, the gravity can push it back unless it's properly engineered and properly fixed, like professionals know. It will not fly. It has to be properly fixed because of the gravity will push it straight down. But in space, there is no gravity. So I repeat this. So once the shuttle, rocket ships, or even spaceships blast off the Earth and go into space, now you do not need to use gravity since there's no gravity in space. And if you give it another blast off, or as many as required, or as many as you can when needed. And for example, if you have smaller shuttles attached to the mothership and blast them off, it will give you an enormous amount of speed. You can also use maneuvers like, for example, blasting the right side to move one way and the left side to move the other, so on, up and down. You can use maneuvers like that. This is the basic principle. There's better maneuvers as you read on. Okay. This is the next page, which will be shown pretty quickly soon. Thank you very much. Greetings. This is page 5. Page 4 is not needed because it's just some notes what I was trying to work on rather than what I did do, like this page, for example. All the information is written after page 5. Okay. Theory given to me by true God, Almighty Emmanuel, Holy Perfect One, the Creator of life. Okay. I have a theory in how to make the shuttle go faster. We talked about a little bit on this before, okay? But anyway, this is more detail, okay? Or maybe we'll see. Once the shuttle is in orbit, it can pause so as to fix or check the computer for its journey. That is, if you want to do it that way, okay? Once it's checked or fixed, etc., or when it is in lift-off form, Earth, lift-off from Earth, so on. In other words, while it's lifting off from Earth, going into orbit, for example, if you want to do it while it's moving, okay, in other words, it will reach enormous speeds on its own, for example, so as once it's traveling, it has to be pushed to go even more faster, like the engine. Or engines can reach enormous speed, but in orbit, there is no gravity. Note this, okay? So while it's traveling, if you can give another blast off, in other words, as many as wanting, in other words, and many blast off as wanting from orbit this time, like with the same engine or different ones, it will go much faster. You can repeat this as many times as possible or needed. For example, if it's traveling in the speed of sound, and while it's traveling, to give it more power by the same engine or other engines, it should reach at least 10 times or even 100 times or so on, traveling the speed, more or less, in other words, or more or less, depending how many pushes you give it, as many blast-offs, in accordance to how technology works at its best, how it is built, and what it can do in accordance to the engineering, development, shall, whatever. It's got to be done future technologized, in other words. If we haven't got the technology today, that is, which you may have anyway, which I call takeoff from Earth. In example 1, the velocity, what I mean by that is movement. The movement of speed times the speed of movement in accordance to its ability, performance in relating to the ability to resist the pull back of gravity. So you need more energy, in other words, okay, from planet Earth. Blast of more power from space equals, with no gravity, the movement of speed times the speed of motion in accordance to the fact of no pullback. That is, the gravity doesn't pull you back because no gravity to turn it, to pull you back, okay? This is then, there is no gravity to pull you back, in other words, down, you see. Okay, that's just, I mentioned that part. Okay, it means when taking off from Earth, there is the resistance of gravity to pull you back down. So you need even more. So you need a lot of energy for blast off and travel. So by giving it another blast off, or as many blast offs as possible, even from space this time, at no gravity, it will reach more speed, enormous amount of speed. But while in orbit, there is no gravity to resist to pulling you back down. So you can do you can do the same thing, only noticing you will travel much faster, 100 times faster, for argument's sake, or more or less, times more each time another blast off or push is given to the shuttle, as many as required with the shuttle in movement. Okay, or even standing still before the first blast off, okay? I mean, that is in orbit. So it's blasting off, whether you first stand still in orbit and then do many blast offs, or while in movement, or in actual movement from Earth. Remember, though, not to go near obstacles that may pull you in, like planets, that is, while driving. So to land on it, you slow down way before you reach there, okay? In other words, while traveling in enormous speed and you reach your destination, say to land on a planet, you must not let the shuttle be pulled in out of control and crash. So by slowing down way before you reach it, you go to safe and normal speed. When approaching new places with gravity, also know that there are, as you do, more gravity in some planets or moons, so as like others. So there's more in some places than others, okay? Yeah. We might go into page 6 now, because I think I've got more tape. We'll attempt it anyway. Page 6. To see outside the shuttle, what we can do is, by telescopes, build outside the spaceship attached and combine with computer to be able to see short, medium, long distance, and like I said before, as in human view as well, through Windows. You can also use the computer or computers for driving the spaceship. Also, it must be computerized to its best and to do all jobs needed by the computer and all things like telescopes, whatever. Also can have Windows, whatever. Okay, you can read that black writing. Okay. 3. With a spaceship, you can have a variety of different ones, like the ship that carries aircraft would be to deliver aircraft on planets, while another can be built to carry equipment instead of airplanes. Or you can have small spaceships, like you can carry bulldozers or other type of equipment, anything that you want, survival, whatever, or other things, balancing things in weight, so as machinery to fix up the planet, etc. Like you can have a greenhouse, or many, and release the oxygen. Like you can have a whole civilization, a small one, medium or large, in a greenhouse. See, once this is done, you can release the air, etc. Like you can place supply in another, or you can use all 3 methods in in a bigger spaceship, and every other thing needed in separate or one spaceship, as long as the shuttle is balanced in weight. That is it at its best. Note also that when you travel in the speed of light, I have to mention something. I forgot what that is. Anyway, I might do it next time. Anyway, once we build each planet for it to be able to support and keep living beings there and alive, we can transport living beings in there, like cars, boats, planes, etc., and make it a real home, second planet Earth. Okay, you can read that black writing. Okay, so then in hyperspace, for example, you can have a big spaceship and have rocket ships inside, or they attached to the side of the mothership, or to come out somehow without big fuel or fire coming out of the back of the shuttle. Okay, so once it's out, it's attached to the spaceship. This can be small spaceships that don't use that type of fuel that will burn up the shuttle. Now, these shuttles can be connected to the spaceship in any position that you want. For example, left, right, up, down, whatever. And of course, giving it extra push with the rocket fuel that will be turned on at the time, only at the time when it's blasts off. So then, if you want to turn left, you can go that way, right that way, by using one of the rocket ships or spaceships, if you want to prefer it that way. Okay, so you can pick up an enormous amount of speed that way. Okay, the rocket ship is very dangerous if it's got fire at the back, but you can build some without that, as I explained anyway. Once this planet is livable, you can start the workforce there, like taking and building things out of the planet, which has been my dream, and of course space mission dream, and most people dream for years. So you can build other planets there. Now, we may or may not have the technology at this time, okay, so on, but as more technology increases, see this work, they would know that sometime now or in the future, we will have success as technology increases, prayer and all this type of stuff. These plans will be the reason of its success, so on. We'll jump on here because we're running out of tape. note that all my work has been given to the believers. That is where I said the copyright. Okay. If there's anything more, you can read that because I'm running out of film. Okay. Just pause and read that. I don't remember what I written there off by heart, but anyway, you can read this. Okay. Now, like I said before, this may be a old or up-to-date copyright, but I'll mention the up-to-date one, which is in these videos, and of course the last part of the page tells you the same copyright given to the Christian Democratic Party. I don't have to mention this again. Okay, Christian Democratic Party in Australian and Greek government and the space missions in hope that the world will work in universal peace, so on. I'm not going to mention it again, Lord. Is that right? Oh, thanks, Lord. Okay, fine. Greetings. This is page 7. Page 6 is after page 5 in the previous video. Okay, get a close-up view here. I passed some of this in the past, so you may be aware of it, but if we continue, this is stage 1, success. This is in the module 1, okay? For some important things are needed, some things, okay, in building, turn over for others until all requirements needed are sorted out like regular. But this is very much a success here in the sense it works even without them, okay? So then, where do we begin here, okay? So the helicopter propeller can have 1 or 2 or 3 or etc. like helicopter exactly these propellers, so you can have them here, okay? The funny looking propeller, but I mean, I'm just drawing it roughly, okay? Yeah, it can have more than 1 or whatever, okay? It's very much like a helicopter, and that's the helicopter propeller there, okay? Seats all around the ship. You can have as many put in there. Even higher or lower as drawn, so on. These are not or are question mark correct measurements, etc. That is, I don't know. It is just a plain picture, a diagram. Engineers must draw it and build it as correct requirements and measurements and all this, and material, the correct material to use and so on. We might have this in today's technology, or we may not. But progress in the future, you'll see that the plane does work, okay? Especially when the technology increases, it will be even better. Propellers joined to the engine for light takeoff propellers in any direction, and they are all around a shuttle. So these are the propellers here, and they can go all the way around. There's only 2 being drawn there, but they can go all the way if you want that type of movement. Okay. So it turns easy and quickly. They should turn at speed of light or faster, question mark. That is, I'm not sure how much, but it can go pretty fast. But not sure. But will, when the future progresses, that is, it will go even in hyperspace, that is the propeller up there with this, the movement and all this, as future progresses, if we haven't got the future today, okay? To further technology increases using this method of the spaceship, okay? Hello, Doc Who, ha ha ha. That's funny, I'm just mucking around there, but in a way it's true, but anyway, okay, so as it all balance like 4 of these, so all shuttle ship must be balanced. Where are we going here? Okay. this is explaining here. Everything has to be balanced. All picture diagrams are shown as above, but can be placed all around shuttle, like 4 or more in each item, like planes, computers, etc. So you can have as many as you want, as long as it's balanced. That is what you place in to build in the shuttle. Okay, so as then here, we'll go to the picture diagram so you can understand what's going on. Here's the gigantic Barbarian. Inside here is hollow. Okay, but it's strong enough. Okay. For example, this giant Barbarian is attached to the shell of a flying saucer. Funny looking flying saucer, but anyway. Here around are Barbarians which can be put all the way down there. And they are attached with proper attachments so they don't fall off. Okay, the picture shows you here how it's done. Okay, so as then you've got, how is this thing working? It's very complicated to even remember this. Okay, you've got Barbarians up there. You can have an engine as in fuel required if necessary, but you've got an oxygen fuel tank here. Okay, so Barbarians rotate this part of it one way, where it's attached to the propeller. The other part of it is two parts to the Barbarian. They're separate. Okay, rotates the opposite way, holding on to the shell. Work it out. You'll know what I'm talking about. Here you've got oxygen tanks. They can be put in any place that you want. This is just an example here. You've got fuel tanks here if you want fuel. But I don't think it's required, but let the professionals see if you do need fuel. If you do, use it. Here you've got oxygen released through there. As you can see the picture going into this part. For example, out there on the ground level, it could be anywhere here. You can have these things right around the shuttle underneath for blast off. Places like Earth. Whatever. The same presses, the oxygen comes out here and released out here in this part of the place. And you can have oxygen here and fuel in wherever you want to put it. Okay, in separate places. And it releases out here to give it a burst left and right. It goes back into here, back up there, is recycled in here into the engine, where the oxygen is used again. Maybe some may be wasted on the sides. The most will be used, if not all of it, if it's done properly. Okay, so as then you've got to understand that here you're dealing with a compressed oxygen supply. That is, there's going to be as much oxygen available in here to have full supply, with the idea of trees and very much like planet Earth, all living species to be in this shuttle as a balance formula for the trees to survive, that the oxygen produced, the astronauts will get a decent meal. So you don't want pills anymore, okay, if possible. So the oxygen is put into here or into this side and reduced back the same way as explained before, either shooting out this way or that way. There's better modules in this, and as I'll show you later on. Anyway, so you can put planes right around the shuttle balanced, okay? You can have computers and seats right around. You can have them on top, like I said in the previous module, in combination with this, okay? The things that I said before can be combined here for navigation and telescopes and stuff like this, which telescopes is not put in here because it's been put in other plans, and because it can't be drawn together. There's too much information. So it's drawn parts by parts to equal to this one in combination with the other. The Barbarians here, as you can see, the round hooks here. So what happens is the Barbarians are all over here, must be all here, right around, except where the Barbarian is. They're on the inside here as well, coming around that way. So in the inside, here, there's the Barbarian, the round Barbarian, giant Barbarian, okay? There's two parts to it. And then there's the oxygen tank as well. And it's hollow here. So as then, okay, by being Barbarians right on the outside, around here, and around here, will keep it steady. Yeah, it's like defying the law of gravity. It's like everything's on thin air other than being held by barbarians. Okay? The giant barbarians here. They've got to be greased or whatever. I don't know. Work it out. So then, here it's hollow for the purpose of cords to go through that dead center so it doesn't get tangled. Okay? And place a position that one can tangle. Okay? If cause it to be used. Okay? Going through here and that. For the floor part where, through here where it stands still. Okay, here you can have a store supply, stores or whatever you want. People doing studies or research or whatever, scientists, whatever you want to put rooms there, right around there if you want. And as you can see, the information here is very simple. Okay, there's the information here. Okay, as we've got a bit of film here. Okay, here you got a window here. I forgot to mention that with the sun. If you're near the sun rays come in for the tree. Either that, or you got to make it artificial somehow. And of course, if you use some sort of plastic, there's a certain plastic you know what that is. You can produce through the sun rays water to water the garden. Okay. But you can have water tanks as well, stored down here or wherever, or you can have another extra part here to put water. I didn't mention that part, but you can do that. Whatever. If you know how to create water, you can have the system here creating water. You can have actually a nursery here for the trees and farmers to work the ground. This could be a small shuttle, medium or big. Okay, and there's small shuttles, spaceships or rocket ships. Well, not rocket ships because the fuel will come out and burn everything. You need something that doesn't pull out fire, like this type of method. But this is just an example of the plane. Okay, so you fly out, okay, through the windows or another doorway if this is used for the sun and there's glass there or whatever. That's just about it. We've got a bit of tape. I don't know if I can read this. I'll just pause it there if you can read it. Here you got the round thing where you can land on water. That can be right around again, and wheels to land on Earth. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure if I left any other information out here. There's the information here. We're running out of tape. Okay, if you can read that, pause it and read it because I haven't got time. It's running out of tape. Okay. Take another shot of it. Okay. Did I leave anything else? I think we mentioned that, but just in case, we'll just pause it a bit and you can read it. I think it looks clear there. Okay. So that is the module 1 is success. That it works. There can be more things that need to be worked on if you want to put extra features, but that's the basic principle. So you can have a whole planet there working here for the shuttle to work. You can have supplies in here, whatever you want. Now, these are some work. There's more to it than that, but it's just a rough example for me to have a hint in what God is working with me. It's written in this book what has happened, more or less of what's written here. Same thing or similar or different, but anyway, it's based on that principle. Okay, it started back then when God spoke to me. And this is what happened while I was writing in thought. No, God spoke to me saying, I am lost in space with the world. Sorry, let's repeat that again. No, God spoke to me saying, I'll be lost in space with the world, but only for a short time. Equals. Instantly, I read and said, I have found the way already to new heaven and new earth. See, God said this because He knows me very well. When God, if someone else says it to me, I don't know if it's got an effect. But when God says that to me, I've got to be found. I don't want to be lost. So instantly, I had found the way already to new heaven and earth. So He caused me to figure out the way through his power, whichever way he did that. Stage 1. Take all on board, as many as required for the journey, leaving many back as needed for work, like back on Earth. So as in other planets when they are built. This is very much spoken in my writings elsewhere, but continuing, stage 2 equals take all, that is 1 or 2 or 3, so on, motherships or little ships, so on. Take everything for survival reason on the ship at all balanced life, so on. You may need to make 1 or more, so on. Or whatever that says there. I lost the translation. I missed it anyway. Stage 3, I have found the way, yet still lost in space. The way is head to planet by planet, fixing all planets to fix it up as livable, that is, for life for life to be, sustainable there. So as people in life will live together there, as also here on planet Earth, that is, okay, permanently. Head to other planets also doing the same first. What's that word? First doing the same thing first, securing Earth for life survival. So as other planets, and every planet along the way in our galaxy. Leave workers as usual behind to fix a planet and keep the galaxy running. So some will go on the mission of cosmos salvation, as you will see further on in this lesson or other lessons after this video, and some will be left behind to fix up everything. If more room needed for space stations, we can do that and also fix things like petrol stations, food places, so on, along the way, like space stations, drop-offs, or anything really. Anything you want out there, just like on planet Earth, you can have it out there in space or in other planets. Like eat in, take away, so on. Petrol stations, so is water, so is so on. Like planet Earth here, so is up there. Find out if planet Mars or other planets have good soil for planting, so on. If so, build a kind of like greenhouse, and inside it, make it as big or as small as possible. That is, bigger the better. Place trees, so on, like people, animals on it, in it to live like Earth. So we can have a lot of these all over planet Mars, for example, or any planet that's we head that way, eventually to all planets. Find out how to make an error protected layer around each planet. Hope oxygen does not escape. I'm not sure if this can happen, okay? If there's no aeron laser, there may already be there one anyway. From planets, maybe. Maybe gravity will keep it down. What's that word? I better look at it. Where are we up to? Okay. Find out how to make an error protection layer around each planet. Hope oxygen does not escape, blah blah blah. If not, it will remain there. Gravity will keep it down, possibly not, we'll see. Then what's that word? I can't find it. Then opening all the greenhouses, releasing air as required until the planets and each planet becomes full of oxygen equals. So as then, better dream vision is when air is released out of the planets, not our planet, Earth, but the other planets, once it's really full. Once all planets have air, that is, and what's that word again? And once all planets have got oxygen, in other words, then you can release it out of the oxygen. The planet that is, you can release the oxygen into the actual space. Is what I'm saying here. Until all the galaxy is full. Now note this: that it's full of air. So as then, once this is done, you only need one spaceship to fly out the Earth, or like other planets and moons and stuff like this that's been taken over. Helicopters. So then helicopters and planes will be able to fly in space now, coming out of things like spaceships. In success, since there is air now and oxygen, suppose to say if we have success in the galaxies, there's oxygen. There's when we fix this, when it's fixed up, you see. So what I'm saying is, once everything's fixed up to be livable like planet Earth on other planets, we can make an artificial protection layer around the Earth so it doesn't escape the oxygen, but have openings to release some of it out and slowly fill up the galaxy. So then planes and helicopters work it out, can get out of the spaceship, and then fly in actual space since there's oxygen there now. So as we can do that on space stations, if the soil is no good that is on planets, we can collect manure for trees to compost soil. Place it on plants, but we need to manufacture a lot here, up there. So we need patience, and we need to have a lot of shit. But anyway, it's funny. But anyway, beaches. We need to find out how to create beaches that are made artificially or whichever way. Yet the Bible records no evidence of fish being saved, but this is not impossible. There may be a way of searching to do this. Only creation on land is saved, but we can try to find it. It is not wrong to save, especially human life. But anyway, we must rely on prayer. We must find a way to create water. This is easily done by using some sort of plastic, I'm not sure the proper name, that you put in desert places, on the ground. This is kind of like plastic thing, I'm not sure what it is, and the sun's rays produces sweat, which produces water or something like that. Anyway, there may be better technology. Kind of food wrapper, okay, I forgot the name. You dig holes, okay, well, I'll explain that. Okay. We can also do that at Earth and deliver the water up there, or any other better way technology that will actually create water. If there is some. If there isn't, we may invent some in the future. Seeing water may be able to create it simply by using salt, but I don't know how, if we can create the right amount of chemicals or whatever has to be there, whatever, to produce, like in some places, like in seawater. But I'm not sure how it's manufactured. I don't know. The guy has not revealed this to me, but it may be ways of looking into the salt or something like that. Maybe it's not possible, but possible, I don't know. Because you need to be on planet Earth because of the sun's distance and one moon method, but not impossible, we see. so as the sun's light can only be distributed by, it can be duplicated by duplicate lights, like the one, same, similar or different method for growing individual plants or things like that, okay? Chicks that hatch from lights and stuff like this can be used also for chick breeding and maybe plants, I don't know, we'll see. But there are lights like that. We make them up high as possible where reach, so as keeping the season in winter, autumn, spring, summer in the correct order in accordance to how many days it takes and planet to make a full circle around the sun. For instance, if it is Mars, it has to be Mars season. It doesn't not Earth seasons. In relating to Earth's calendar, that is in relating to how long it takes for the Mars to go around the sun in accordance to the mathematical term of Earth's, for example. That is Mars calendars. This will generate power to cause the sun to heat up more better the planet, so it will one day rain, so as in other planets it must be related to Earth's calendar, season, so on, but in that mathematical calculation of equivalent to Earth's planets in relating to each other planet rotating around life of Mars, so on, Jupiter, whatever. I'm running out of tape. So on, when lights are used before the sun, giving us its every day, you can also use fire to warm up, blah, blah, blah. The North Pole, the poles, we need to create poles because it must be for proper seasons, days, so on. This case, easily be done by the opposite of lights method. Simply place refrigerators to its north-south So continuing in page 9, we'll take it from here. Okay. So as when lights are used before the sun gives us its energy, you can also use fire to warm up, as people know, when life begins on each planet. You must also find a way to create north-south poles, because it must be for proper seasons, dates, so on. This can easily be done by the opposite of the light method. Simply place, example, refrigerators. They have to be invented, these types, if there aren't any. You may have them or not, I don't know. To its north and south. In astronomical mathematical calculation, in Mars season, if it's related to Mars, that is, in relating to Earth, but all this is set up everywhere. Calculating the exact distance of each light to be placed, and something like a refrigerator or something method, north and south pole, some sort of cool device and heaters can be also installed. It must be done pinpoint accurate, so as the sun's rays will respond to the gravity of the lights and fridges in accordance to the astronomical navigation of the universe, north, south, east, west, and not just Earth's. It's not just Earth's north, south, east, west. It's got to be related to the universe. Could be the same, similar, different to what you got. I don't know. I don't know what you got there. They will cause the sun's rays to create automatically the proper seasons and north-south poles, so as in each planet, like Mars, for example, thus, like in every other planet, for example, the gravity, what is that word? The gravity attracts. The gravity attraction of the planet and lights and future rays attracts the rays of the sun like a magnet attracts the nails. But safely, the lights have to be done exactly. The right measurement and so on. The fridges in relating to Earth's ways, that is. To example, Mars in the Mars method, okay, or for example, Mars in the mathematical term of astronomy calculated by the distance of the sun and its size, so they would have to be put up high at the correct distance, but the fridges to be put low on Mars, that is on the planet somewhere. So as for other the planets, what's that word? What's that? In planets, moons, so on, but in theirs, that is, relating to the Earth. Okay, so then it goes down to here. The lights and fridges, where are we? Have to be set up front and turned on at the same time everywhere once needed. That is, once it's been built. Okay. Now I hope you can get to the next chapter. Okay, have a sneak preview of this. Okay, we got the next page. I hope I can read this fast enough, because I can't really understand my own writings, worse than doctors' writings. Doctors, at least they understand theirs, but mine, some of it I can't understand myself. Anyway, it's funny. Instructions. You must understand, I do not know the exact correct measurements, so on, whatever is written there, try to make sense of it. I can't read my writing. Concerning the spaceship, I am relying on God Almighty to give it to me, or to someone who knows about this thing better. I have full qualification in architectural drawings with A+ up to year 8, equivalent to year 10 high school possibly, but not in spaceship drawings. I have none. I have only got them in, woodwork and stuff like that. Okay, so a professional in the spaceship designs and that sort of thing should work on it. Okay, or people understanding what plane, helicopters, rockets, like aero engineering and aerospace engineering, so on, like work together or whatever. Also, because I can do architectural designs in houses and kitchens, so on, only, and they are square, that is, these types of square, that is that I have learned and have not dealt with round objects like a spaceship. Or professional spaceships designs and stuff like this, or rocket ships or anything, like the above in a space mission, or like actual or like like an act, like an act, like in acting, someone has to relate the rocket ship method of drawings, or the spaceship method, that is the rocket ship method of drawings, actually in relating to helicopter method of spaceship combined shell rounded, like a Aussie football, soccer ball, or rugby ball. I'm not sure which one will work best. Professionals can work that one out. Okay. But I might be able to accomplish this myself. This design or things like this, more closely better reading. I'm not sure if I can do that. Okay. So we work together to do this. If you need to explain the pictures, since it's my version of understanding it, and you are too advanced for me to draw it to your level. But I reckon I don't see why you cannot understand it. I think you can. We see, okay. Since you are professionals, designers, in respect, I truly mean, okay. Since at the now there is no gravity in space, everything has to be bolted or joint tight, so it does not fly or float, whatever. But the barbarians are and have to be stronger, because it holds the whole space shuttle as if it is on thin air. This is the bolt, the force, so on. The purpose is for the propeller of the top part of the shuttle to rotate around like a helicopter, while the shell rotates the other way, and the floor back propeller to navigate and fly. So the back propellers will navigate to fly in any direction, and the floor standing still. The shell moving one way and the floor the other way. To be able to navigate in any direction, anywhere, programmed in controlled manually by the computer or automatically, or computers, so as the shell is caused to go around the opposite way, which is repeated there. As the floor standing still with no movement. This is why it is like the main parts are on thin air, other than the barbarians, okay, holding it in place together, that affect, otherwise the spaceship will spin out of control. This way is controlled, steady, easy flight, like being helicopter or similar, rather than being dizzy at the time of a merry-go-round ride kind of thing, like a Luna Park ride. Now, Scripture says when peace and safety is being spoken about, sudden destruction will hit the land. Jesus does not say this so we do it, or that it will happen necessarily, but rather for to warn us, that is all of us, kind of like a red alert, as it's what is happening when people are already talking about it, even peace treaties. It's not because the faithful in Christianity will not keep the peace, it's because the terrorists and the threaters and evil people will not. So, in short, it basically means we've got to convert them to Christianity, not only because it's correct to do so and save their life, but for argument's sake, for peace to be kept. Okay? Greetings. This is continuing from page 7 to stress a further point. I left this out undone to see if you can work it out. So we'll talk about it now. Okay? I told you the shuttle has to be balanced. If there's anything else that you want to work out, you contact me, okay? Here you got the engine. If you notice carefully, for it to be balanced, there has to be one down here somewhere here, wherever it's the balanced position, maybe lower or higher. Okay. Okay. So the measurements between there and there has to be in accordance to the balance of this and that. So it might be higher or lower, the same spot, whatever. Okay. So then, here, where's my pen now? Here, you've got a lot of chords in one place, dead center. It's hollow in the ball bearing here. There's one ball bearing here, two ball bearings there, in place here. Sorry, one ball bearing, but it's got a hollow, then it's got an inner layer and an outer layer, okay? And both layers are kind of like not joint together. So one layer is in the other layer, and the inward layer is hollow. So in the inward layer, you've got all chords, all different types of chords that is just attached to the engine for the engine to work. Now you can use non-chords if you get this type of technology, which will work better. But if you haven't got it, and you've got to use chords connected from the engine to the fuel or wherever it's got to be connected mechanically, whatever. Okay. The cords can easily not be tangled by following this principle. Okay, down here, with the engine is just 1, 2, and down here somewhere, wherever it is, 3, 4 on both sides. So the cords will run directly dead center. Every cord is put kind of like this. That's 1 cord, 2 cord, 3 cord, 4 cord, whatever, but in one place, stuck together. 2 separate ones, loose, so one will be on one side, the other on the other side. Okay, and the cords will run directly into that engine, and that engine which will cause the shell to rotate one way. The other 2 engines, the cords will come up here into that engine and on the other engine, and cause the helicopter to rotate the other way. Okay, all mechanical parts have to be done in the center here. Okay, so the hull has to be pretty thick to fit everything in. Okay, so is then homework for use. How do you get the propeller? The propeller's right around the shuttle to have cords attached, going dead center wherever it has to go, in a way that will not get tangled. Homework, trying to figure it out. Because if you make it wrongly, the cords can get tangled and rip apart. Okay? And you've got disaster happening. It will happen immediately, actually. Okay? So, another further point is, here's where the bearing is. You've got one inward layer, which is hollow, and an outward layer. It's not joined together. That is, the inward layer goes inside it. But in between the 2 layers, you've got ball bearings from top to bottom, right inside the layer of the barbarian, wherever that may be. Here, I've got to look at the plane anyway. So the purpose is that the inward barrier will cause either the shell or the helicopter to rotate one way, while the outward layer will have further bearings from the top to the bottom, wherever they can be placed, in both cases, to cause a propeller part through the barbarian, probably the dead center one, to rotate the opposite way. How do you get the propellers doing the same principle for the engine part? Through the cords. It's usually done through the cords. Okay, let me think about this. Okay, you've got a round figure here. You've got on the floor, you've got cords coming up down this way. So they have to run right in here and straight into that engine, one of these 2 engines, whichever one is used for the floor, for it to stand still. So through here, it'll probably come right, hang on a minute, it'll probably come right up in the tunnel and connect it into some engine here. I haven't worked that out yet, but give me a go for a moment. Okay, you've got the circle here, it comes into the thing like this, goes straight up. Okay, so we'll have to be dead center somewhere here attached. You can have cords going in this way to get to wherever part of the engine he has to go. The engine that moves the floor, because it will rotate together rather than tangle, whichever one you use for the floor. Okay, so continue from this. Now, it's based on that principle. You have to, put a bit of philosophy into it, a bit of changes if you have to, a bit of this and a bit of that, and you will come up with maybe better ideas or similar or the same. Doesn't really matter, but I mean, as long as it works. But as you can see, as future technology increases, it will work, because in the future there'll be, if it hasn't already been made, there'll be machines made without any cords, like remote control or whatever. As you can see here, it clearly states, since it is a mothership, there will be room to transport as many people for each mission, sowing animals, trees, birds, insects, maybe fish, okay? So supplies, etc., tools, so on, all jobs are needed to form. So every job on planet Earth is needed, both in the shuttle, if this was a shuttle, okay, and to create life in other parts of the cosmos. Okay, to form a balance in a ship's journey and success for the mission, that is for create life in other planets. It must be related clearly to the things and lifestyle on identical to Earth's, so as to take just enough for the journey. If more people if more people need to come, make more ships, spaceships, or even if more supplies have to be made, put them in different ships. So you can have, for example, if this is the ship, you can have, one with planes. You can have one with some other stuff in it. One supplies, of course. Each one has to have food and water for the astronauts. But I mean, you can have different supplies to different ships, okay, or in one ship. Or use this one module for transporting their so on, okay? If so, you can also use the important things that are needed to survive and fulfill the journey. What does that say here? With 1, 2, etc. What does that word say? I can't remember. Ships, I think it may be. And make more ships, spaceships having one or more supply. Same or different measurements as this one. I mean, as the big one, or the medium-sized one, or the small one. Okay, so you can make smaller ships, or make them small and make many trips, or that should be big, or make them big and as many trips, or medium-sized, carrying a new supply, so on. You can use all three for success, but not need it. So you can have all three motherships in, 3 ships in there, in one ship, or 3 different ships, or you can have one. Okay. Note, important: any contract that I charge is due to the fact of an old update. In the final update, I have decided with True God, which is here. Okay. It's right there. It's the same copyright as here. Okay, I mean, this is a smaller range, so we put it here. Okay, here you got on behalf of God Almighty, Emmanuel, Holy, Perfect, Heaven and Earth, the work given to Christian, Australian, and Greek authorities and space mission in hope the Earth works in together with all space missions and authorities in peace. So the authorities that I'm talking about the government authorities, as you can see in the other copyright. Okay, the government authorities, it's up to them if they want to, it's up to the Australian and Greek authorities what they want to do with it, but it's just advice to work with everybody on planet Earth. So it's actually given to you free of charge. It's like, for example, if there's a picture of me here, okay, and say there's a picture of the Greek and Australian governments here somewhere, and God is here, instead of him giving them to you, this work that is, he's given them to me and said, pass them on to here. So it's no different than God giving them to you, is it? So it belongs to you. I'm only doing the right thing because I'm not a crook, and I do what God says, and since he says to give it to you guys, it will be given to you as soon as possible, planned according to God's ways as soon as the work is finished, unless he tells me otherwise in an earlier stage, but it wouldn't be later. Okay, according to what God said to me. Continue from previous page. Some picture, but this is a mothership, as small or big needed, so I do not need to draw it again. Okay, so all these ships that were drawn here, you can have is a few examples of what you can do, and you can join it into one ship. So it's hard to put all the information in one place. I put it on different places to join into one ship. Okay. Thank you very much. May God bless your journey and good luck with everything. In anything that you do in life, if you're listening to this, may God be with you, bless you, and perfect you, and help you in every way that you want. And if you're involved in a space mission or in government or something, may God be with you too. I'm sure He will eventually. He's with everybody, but I mean, sometimes it takes longer for people, for God to work than some that are earlier. This is because it's about being born again, okay? Like in the natural birth, when a child comes out of the mother's womb, it takes 9 months for it to come out of the mother's womb. It takes the moment of conception that it's alive in the mother's womb. So a child being born again could be at any time. It's not the same as the physical birth. It means it has to be at the right time for that person. It could be at any age. It could be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, not at all these ages, but the right age for that person. God picks the right time for that person. To some, it may be at one age. To others at a different age. To some at a similar age. Less or more, older or younger, same age, whatever. So you're all equal in the eyes of God, really. It's just that we get born again at different times. That's all. Amen. Okay, this is Art of the Cross, which is www.artofthecross.com. Have a look at the site. Greetings. This is continuing from page 11. We're jumping ahead to page 21. We get back to the other pages some other time. Yeah, as you can see, it's got note for all this God's drawings. Okay. Note: top designers and engineers, so as in space mission, that is, professionals must sketch this properly in measurements, so as material wise, like what kind of material to put in all this kind of stuff. So as, but the shuttle must be balanced at this present time. Okay. Okay, here's the picture of this. Here you got ball bearings at the bottom of the floor, and they're round. The other here on a second layer here. This layer is this part here on the sides, but at the bottom of this here, the second layer has got ball bearings right around, so you can make the floor steady and move around. Okay. As you can see, there's the engine here, as I mentioned previously. Okay. If you can read the writing here, you understand it a lot better. Okay, as you can see a better picture. I'll let you read that for a little while. Okay. And here's the plane view. And this is supposed to be propellers, funny looking propellers, but I mean, it's just a rough sketch, okay? A couple of bearings coming around here and in the center here. So, for example, here in the center is where it's connected to the shell, the space shuttle, top and bottom layer, okay? Top and bottom, connected with a giant bolt. Here it's got ball bearings, and there's an engine in there, as I mentioned in page 7, okay? Causing the shell to rotate one way. Okay, the other ball bearings on this side causes the helicopter, the propellers that is, to rotate the other way as the floor is staying still. It's got ball bearings here and on the bottom. As the shell rotates one way, this is staying at the same spot where the propellers rotate the other way. You understand that? Here's another plane of view. I think it is. Is it plane of view? Yeah, plane of view. Okay, it shows you a bit bigger design. Okay. And here's another plane of view without the propellers in there, so you can understand that. Okay. And here are the writings. we'll start with this right in here. It says, Geogen, this is the term like, oh well, we've already explained that, okay? So here we've got, that's the floor spaceship here. This is the shell of the spaceship. This is the barbarians, and it's got barbarians. I haven't put them here. I forgot to put them in here, but they're on the floor, on the underneath here, as I mentioned before. Okay, here it states giant barbarians must be fitted, surrounded between the floor and the shell. That's on the sides. Okay, also at the bottom. I forgot to put the bottom part. Okay, of the space mission. So then to do the full shove this, so as to do the full, so as not to fall, that is, okay, so the shell of the spaceship, so this they do not fall, okay. The distance between the floor and space shell must be equal distance. Okay, so you got the main message is that you got barbarians on the side of the floor and at the bottom. The propeller moves one way, for example, that way, and the shell moves the other way. Floor stands still. So most important thing that you got, so it can become pretty much like a helicopter ride or an airplane ride rather than a merry-go-round. Okay, here's some information here if you want to read it. Okay. Okay, it's pretty much the same information as what I just told you. Okay, we'll just run that through here so you can just read the writings rather than me speaking it, because I've got a sore throat from, I've had a emphysema. I've actually treated it, would you believe that? Yeah. The Lord showed me how to treat it. I've talked to the doctors about it. They'll probably look into it at this present time. But it worked. I had emphysema really bad, and it was healed. That was about 3 months ago. The Lord showed me exactly how to do it. Yesterday, I had sore lungs, like you wouldn't believe. They were not an enormous amount of pain, just a little bit of pain all over my lungs. I think it's a sign of cancer. So what happened is, today I'm perfectly alright. I didn't even see a doctor. The Lord showed me what to do. I'll talk to the doctor exactly what to do there. I've written in my writings about that type of treatment. You've got to understand about emphysema, going to this subject rather than the space mission, and possibly cancer too, and even bronchitis before emphysema, can be treated pretty easy if you look into my writings. But you must understand, my condition is top condition. I've been exercising from school days, from a little boy, from the time we went to school, even before that, at home, playing around, games, whatever, to the day I left school, to this present day. Everybody has, exercise at school, but they give up when they come out of school. Me, I didn't. So my system functions a lot easier and much quicker. For example, I got a virus, I believe it was cancer yesterday. Within an hour, it was treated. Whereas if someone didn't have the condition that I have, because I've been exercising and obey the 8 laws of health, if you know all about that, if they're not in my condition, it could take many years or even a whole lifetime before they can treat themselves or the doctors looking after them. By that time, they'll be dead, you see. You see what I'm saying? So it's very good to have a good conditioned body. The Lord Jesus shows me all that. This is plans continuing, page 22. This is the bottom part. Okay, here you got oxygen coming up this way and that way, depending upon how many of these you want to have. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can have 8, whatever. So this is upside down. We've seen it underneath the shuttle. The oxygen comes out this way, and the shuttle flies up. It also goes on the sides. You can also have it, for example, if this was plain view. For example, this is upside down, but if it was plain view, for example, you could have them on the side, shooting on the sides, all over the place, up this way, and have navigation going all over the place if you want to do that kind of stuff through oxygen and fuel. Okay, it pretty much explains that. Let's just pretty much explain that. Okay, if you look at the writings here, I'll let you read it. If you pause that for a moment, because I'm running out of tape here, you may be able to read it. And we'll put it here. And we'll put it here. And we'll put it here. Okay, put it here. And we'll put it here. If you just read that, pause it and read it, you should be alright. We might jump into page 23, maybe have to continue with the film ones. I'm not sure if the film's going to run out, but there is a spaceship. This is the inside view, okay, for example. So, for example, this could be related to aircrafts, could be related to seats or computer seats, you know, where astronauts sit down in computers. It can be a number of different things. It could be whatever you want to put as supplies in there. They have to be balanced. So here's a picture. For example, here, if you read that, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, running out of tape. Okay, okay, I'm not sure which way this goes. Just bear with me. Okay, we'll pause that for a moment. And pause this. And pause this. Okay, pause this. And pause this. And pause this. And pause this. Okay, so the main purpose of this invention that I'm inventing is there's a lot of things here, but the most important thing, as I repeat many times, you know, that there are bearings here. In the previous panel I showed you, the helicopter, it causes the helicopter to move the propeller one way, for example, that way, the shell one way, while the floor stands still. As I'm explaining my other writings, everything else NASA has to work out to get it going. There are a lot of writings here concerning the scriptures in the Holy Bible and other things in life that will teach you a lot of things, proving the resurrection. I will show you that sooner or later. But anyway, love you all. God bless you all, and good luck with anything you do, whether it's a space mission or something else in life. May God be with you in everything you do, and you use His help. Pray for Him to help you. He will help you. Okay? We can do all things in Christ Jesus who strengthens us. In the same manner, I can do nothing if Jesus does not strengthen me. Okay, greetings. I'll let you read that. So it's continuing to page 27. 24 and 25 will be put in later. I've jumped on ahead of that. So we read this.